Mike Carroll with LanceHorse coming to you with a quick PSA on data breaches. Now, data breaches are happening more and more these days, and clients are frequently asking me, what is a data breach? How does it affect me? And so I thought rather than try to type up a long article, I thought it might be easier just to do a quick video. A data breach at its most basic level is when secure information is taken from a trusted environment without permission. That information can then be used to steal identity. It can be used to hack online accounts, or a lot of times they'll take a small bit of information, they'll then do targeted phishing attacks to then get more information from you. Now, one thing I want to note is that just because data is exposed doesn't mean it's being used by the bad guys. It just means that they do now have easy access to it. So what do I do to protect myself? I'm so glad you asked. First and foremost, use secure passwords. A secure password, or what is often referred to as a complex password, will use a combination of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and special characters. On a lot of sites, you can even put a space into that password to make it even more challenging. If trying to keep track of complex passwords is tough, I recommend using a password manager like LastPass. Another way to protect your information is to consider setting up two-factor authentication. But lastly, most important is to keep your information secure. Never share your passwords or your personal information with anyone you don't know. And something that is very important to remember is that no business and no financial institution will ever call you and ask you for a password over the phone. They will never text you and ask you to send them that password, and they will never email you asking you to send that password. Password should only be entered on the site where you know that it's going to the right place. Shred any documents that have any of your personal information. I know that sounds archaic, but there are still people that are going through the trash. It actually does still happen. Now, what do you do if your information has already been exposed? Okay, first and foremost, if the password has been exposed, I recommend changing that password for any site where you're using that same password combination. People often use the same password across multiple different sites, and so change it anywhere that you're using that same password, and remember, make it complex. If your credit card or your bank account information is exposed, call that financial institution. Cancel the credit card, let them know, hey, there's been a breach on my account, so that way they can keep an eye out for any type of fraudulent activity. But then most importantly, if your social security number is grabbed, you want to report that immediately to the police, to the credit bureaus, and to the IRS. I also recommend signing up for a credit monitoring service for added protection. On a personal note, my wife and I, we have our credit frozen. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, you can go online, you can put a freeze on your credit, and then you can unfreeze it. So if you ever need to open up an account, you can temporarily unfreeze it. But otherwise, it stays frozen, which will help you. No one can basically try to open a card or open a bank account or anything like that using your information because it is frozen. So just another little tip. I hope this information was helpful. Please feel free to forward this to anybody that you know. A lot of this information actually came from an article from KnowBe4, which is a great tool for online security training for yourself or for your employees. Please don't hesitate to reach out with me if you ever have any questions. If you get something suspicious, don't ever hesitate to forward it over and say, hey, does this look legit? And I'm always here to help. Otherwise, have a great day, and thanks so much.